of over 5-day suspension, the hearing must take place prior to the enforcement of punishment. In other words, before employee can be cut off of any pay, the hearing must take place. The purpose of the hearing is to determine whether or not just cause exists to discipline or discharge the employee. If the employee disagrees with the hearing officer appointing authority's decision, the employee has an appeal right through either Civil Service Commission under General Law Chapter 31 or Labor Arbitrator under General Law Chapter 1.
Okay, all right.
We do public comment. Public comment of the meeting is an opportunity total and up to 3 minutes of each speaker as well as each other. Anyone that does not wish to speak or is unable to do it, be right up at the podium.
My name is Kathleen Howley.
Kathleen Howley, she's great.
I came to speak tonight because of the disrespect shown
to
speakers at the last meeting.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Chairman, you read the rules at the beginning of public comment, and they are strictly enforced, rules are rules, on us. At 3 minutes, we're cut off and not even allowed to finish our sentence.
Ooh, not good.
The rules also say there will be no response to any public comment referring to the board.
Okay.
Last week, after public comments, Chris Albert began his job of reading agenda items by saying, and I quote, "First up on the agenda tonight, let's get some real work done here."
I remember that. He's such a douchebag. He said that at the end of the public comment last time. He's like, time to get some real work done here, as if the rest of the comments are just not real work. He's such a fucking asshole.
It was snarky and juvenile, and everyone knew what it meant. If the speakers had praised Chris, there would have been no such comment. But he wasn't interrupted and told to follow the rules. In fact, the chair said nothing. Perhaps it will be addressed during this meeting, perhaps not. Perhaps the board will pretend it never happened. And who are the people who were the object of the snark? First up was Brenda Sweeney, the bravest person in Canton. Next up was Peter Murphy, who served this town with integrity as a police officer for 30 years. A simple thank you for your service would do, but instead, Peter is threatened and maligned by some people in town with lies that grow bigger and bigger. The third was John Camo, whose family has lived in Canton for generations. Andrea Camo, John's mother, and a lovely person, died a few weeks ago. I just found out.
Sorry about
that. I would have been at her services.
Sorry about that, John.
Her obituary contained this line: "She will be remembered for her refusal to remain silent when something mattered." What a line to have in one's obituary. We all, or most of us, learned that from our parents growing up, to live life with integrity and to speak out when it mattered. I'm going to end by asking the chair, if there's going to be any response, which may not happen, to not respond by subjecting us to seeing Chris read another non-apology apology. It's like watching a hostage video being made. And please don't waste more taxpayers' money by issuing another vague, non-statement statement. We read them and say, what? Someone, we don't know who, did something, and we don't know what. They only create fog. I'll end by saying elected officials should hold themselves to a higher standard, not a lower one. And if someone can't stand listening to the public, they should not be in public service. Thank you.
True that. You tell him, Kathleen Howley. Tell him. She's a regular. She's very, very articulate. I met her. She's a great lady. Great lady of Canton. Active. Now, Brenda Sweeney, the wife of, she speaks at every meeting.
Brenda Sweeney, Canton, my opinion.
Okay.
Recently, someone rode by us and shouted, F John.
That's
I'm
not
not
good.
using the whole F word, but F John.
F John. Wow.
At our last meeting, in typical Canton fashion, you little helpers tried to embarrass me by mocking my age. I love the way it backfired, showing the world the reality that is Canton. The mentality of these vulgar bullies that thrive by preying on others with violence, intimidation, harassment, and public ridicule. Snakes in the grass who'd rather get attention from murderers than fight for justice.
Oh, murderers.
People attempt to quiet the noise. It's just one more way those little helpers are saying F John.
Ooh,
Poor John, you little helpers were right there beside those murdering psychopaths demanding prison for Karen Reed. You tried to be good doobies, but the pressure must be getting brutal.
Murdering psychopaths. Yikes. Yikes. I wish I could see Chris Albert's face.
Because now you're turning on John, the victim, the guy that got killed. You were all grieving him. Now you're pissed at the guy who lost his life in this fiasco.
Were they really?
Now it's F John.
Did they say that? That's
we love
horrible.
the extra pressure coming from the Canton Chronicle's reviews of the trial footage. We saw the lies on the witness stand, the people that weren't really in C.F. McCarthy's, the timelines that don't really work when you look at them closely. Now it sounds like Mikey's cloud data brought us the suspension of Sergeant Good. Hallelujah.
Mikey's cloud
that
data.
Suspension itself is finally a breath of fresh air for our decent officers who need our support. F John means you little helpers are catching heat you didn't anticipate. That scenario didn't quite play out the way those murderers promised, did it? Sad you agreed in the first place, but now you're screwed. Think about it. You know the truth. You helped them get away with it. They own you now. They'll be back demanding more. And don't think they won't threaten you. You might think you're friends with them, but they don't care about you. They only
No.
care about how they can use you.
Murder.
It's a double whammy because knowing also makes you a threat. No
Oh,
telling what'll happen when murdering psychopaths have their back
ooh,
up against the
murdering
wall.
psychopaths.
You didn't have a care in the world, but now you need eyes in the back of your head.
Yeah.
Living in Canton will start to feel like you're living in a horror movie. Like you checked into the Bates Motel, Norman's around every corner.
Ah,
you
that's
have
why
the keys
she
to
has
your
the-
room,
the
and there's
shirt.
nowhere left to hide.
The shirt. I see what she did
Some
there.
sage advice. When you find yourself in a hole, stop digging.
Ooh.
Maybe it's time to do the right thing while you still can, before that window closes completely. We'll be back because making Canton safe is real work, Mr. Albert. So spare us the petulant little comments and try acting like the professional you're supposed to be for the short time you have left in that chair.
Ooh, boom, roasted. And it is a short time. It is a short time because Chris has John. He's got a re-election coming up in I think May, and so will Chris Albert run for re-election in May? That'll be interesting. So there's always going to be a next element to the story, and I can't wait to see what happens with Chris Albert.
Good evening. I'm here tonight to get some real work done,
What is this?
which apparently means reading. All right. So I did a
Okay.
little homework and I found this lovely Massachusetts State Police report dated February 21st, 2022. Crystal clear right here. In the very first line, both Julie and Chris Albert were at the waterfall that night, then followed to Brian Albert's home, 34 Fairview.
Is that true?
Oh, wait, there's more. Sergeant Yuri Buchanan doubles down in the report and again stated the purpose. The purpose of the interview quote was to get their recollection events both at the bar and from 34 Fairview. That's 2 times one report. But under oath, Chris said he walked home, didn't drive, didn't follow, walked straight home, didn't even brush his teeth.
Now I've seen this before. The whole Chris Albert was in the house thing. I don't think the defense really pushed that narrative though. That I don't think. Does anybody think Chris Albert was in the house? I always thought because I've seen this report too, and I always just thought this was like a typo or a mistake or something. I know it's in the reports, but is it like seriously alleged that Chris was in the house? Because the defense went much harder for Colin in the house than Chris. I don't know.
Teeth. Maybe you should have. A little fluoride would have helped with the memory.
Ooh.
So I'm stuck wondering, did the state police make a typo twice? Or did Chris make a pit stop at 34 and just say he forgot? So maybe walking home in Chris's mind is a metaphor, like let's get some real work done. The only thing working harder than this board member lately is the delete key on a lot of people's cell phones.
Ooh.
Anyways, we're here to get some real work done. I figured I'd help by pointing out this little contradiction, considered a public service brought to you by a taxpayer who still remembers what the words integrity means. Thank you.
Nice. Excellent. Look at Chris Albert. Oh, this is Jack Carney. Jack Carney's a great American. He was a witness for me in my trial. He was great. He was awesome. Love Jack Carney.
County Canton.
Canton
I
Jack.
just want to thank Chief Perkins for what he's done for the Canton Police Department so far. He's very accessible and easy to talk to. I appreciate the time he takes to speak with the residents about their concerns. I wish I had a police chief like him 22 years ago when I had to file a lawsuit against a Canton police officer for undue influence on my 95-year-old great uncle who also lived in Canton. I tried to get help from the Canton police, the state police, the attorney general's office, but no one would listen. I did eventually win my lawsuit against the Canton police officer. Maybe if there had been someone with integrity at the top
Ooh.
of the Canton Police Department back then, that Canton cop wouldn't have felt empowered to act upon and prey upon my great uncle. Thank you.
Wow.
And you all know who he was.
Oh, jeez. You tell him, Jack.
We're going to go over to the right.
Look at Chris.
One.
Coming to address, if possible, the idea that the select board has been asked to support the pickleball again.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
would just caution and
Pickleball.
hope that they think about before they write any letter of recommendation or support of.
See, this is what normal town meetings involve, is like the lady who was there to support the pickleball resolution. Like, this is what they're supposed to talk about at small town meetings, not like murder and shit and like covering shit up. Like, this is normal. Like, this is the normal portion of the meeting that like represents like what's supposed to happen in small towns is the pickleball resolution. not the whole murdering psychopaths. Like that's not the normal part. This is supposed to be normal. Like this is a sign. If we can get back to more pickleball discussions at meetings, like that's how you know that Canton's better. But as long as like we're still having public discussions about murdering psychopaths and shit, we're not normal yet. We're not there yet. We're only 20% there because only 20% of the public commentary was asked about pickleball.
How many problems there were last year when we tried to do this. The neighbors weren't told. The money was was huge.
The pickleball is
There
huge.
seems to be a lot of discrepancy.
A lot of
and
pickleball.
I hope that a lot of this is smoothed out before the select board makes a recommendation to approve it.
Yeah. You got to get the pickleball fixed. There you go.